right, hopefully you yesterday did review 3 on your own. Today we're going to go over the answers and kind of talk about some stuff on review 3. And then tomorrow you're going to take a test, test number 3 over this. Alright, so, zoom out a little bit. On Wednesday, tomorrow, before you take your test, not today, but tomorrow, because I do want you to look over this and study it, before you take your test, if you send me a picture of these, of your completed review, I will give you bonus points on your test. Alright, fill in the blank. When solving an inequality, we flip the sign when we multiply or divide by a negative. So anytime we are going to multiply or divide by a negative, we are going to flip our sign. So if we have greater than, we'll flip it to a less than sign, and vice versa. When we graph an inequality, we use the circle for greater than, or that's less than, and greater than. When we graph an inequality, we use the closed circle for greater than equal to, or less than equal to, and greater than equal to. Alright, so let's graph the following. So we're going to go to -4, and I put an open circle. And it says b is greater than, so I'm going to go towards greater than. So what are some values b could be? It could be -3, -2, -1, 0, and so forth. Alright, c is less than or equal to 8. So I'm going to go to a closed circle on 8. And c is less than, so I'm going to go this direction. Some values that c could be, it could be 8, 7, 6, and so forth. Alright, let's look at solving some inequalities and then graphing them. Alright, so we're going to draw a line. We don't have parentheses. We have variable on only one side. We have nothing to combine. So I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. This leaves me with -5m and 20. Divide both sides by -5. And m divided by a negative right there. So I'm going to flip my sign. 20 divided by -5 is -4. So m is less than -4. So, some values, -5, -6, -7. Come to my number line. I want to put at least 5 numbers on my number line. It's going to be an open circle, and it's going to be less than, so it's going to go this direction. Alright, so anytime I multiply or divide by a negative, I'm going to flip. Also, this is just like solving for equation. These are inequalities, but it's the same process. Take care of that +2 first by subtracting from both sides. My goal is to get the m by itself, divide both sides by -5, and keep going. Alright, let's look at the other one. Draw a line. I don't have parentheses. I don't have anything combined, but I do have an x on the left and an x on the right. So I need to move all my x's to one side. So I'm going to do that by moving my smaller one. So I'm going to move my 4x. It was a positive 4x, so it's now going to be a -4x. This leaves me with 5. 7x minus 4x is 3x minus 25. My goal is to get x by itself, so I'm going to add 25 to both sides. Just cancel. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. I did not multiply or divide by a negative, so my sign gets to stay the same. So x is less than or 10 is less than or equal to x. So what are some values? X is on the bigger end, so it could be 10, because it could be equal, 11, 12, and so forth. Put at least 5 numbers on my number line. Because it's got the equal sign, it's going to be a closed circle. And x is greater, so I'm going to go towards my bigger numbers. All right, let's go to the next page. All right, so on this side, I'm going to draw a line. I don't have parentheses. I don't have anything to combine. I have a variable just on one side, so I'm going to keep it. So what's with it? I have that minus 5, so I'm going to add 5 because that's the opposite. Leave me with 3p. Negative 20 plus 5 is negative 15. Divide both sides by 3, so divided by a positive here, so my sign stays the same. Alright, so negative 5 is greater than p. So p is on the smaller end here. So what are some things that are smaller than negative 5? Negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. So I'm going to graph it. It's going to be an open circle at negative 5. And some things that are less than, so I'm going to go towards that negative 6, negative 7, negative 8. Sorry. All right, let's look at our next one. Okay, I'm going to draw a line. I don't have parentheses. I don't have anything to combine, but I do have a D on the left and a D on the right. So I'm going to move my D all to one side. So this can also be seen as a 1D. So to get rid of it, it's a positive, so I'm going to subtract D from both sides. This leaves me with negative 3. Now that's the mistake I saw some people making in class, is they weren't bringing down that negative with that 3. That subtraction becomes the negative then. 5D minus 5D minus 1D is 4D. Add 19 to both sides. Divide both sides by 4. Did not divide by a negative, so I'm going to keep my sign the same. Cancel. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So what are 3 values that x could be? It could be 4. And then D is bigger than, so it could be 5, 6, 7, so forth. Put a couple numbers on the number line. This is going to be a closed circle on 4. My arrow is going to go towards that 5 and 6. All right, you will have some of these on the test. It will look somewhat similar to this. For those of you who are taking the test online, it's probably going to have questions like, what is the first step? What is the second step? So I know that you actually know the process. You will have where you'll have to choose answer choices that tell me what the variable could be. And then you're going to have to graph some, which is a little hard to do online. So what you're going to have to do is tell me open or closed circle, and if the arrow is going to the left or to the right. All right, so next we have word problems. All right, so let's look at these word problems. All right, so it tells us that these could be equations or they could be inequality. So an equation is anything that has an equal sign. An inequality is going to be my greater than, less than, greater than, equal to these signs. All right. All right, Jose has decided to start a math tutoring business. He wants to save enough money to buy an Apple Watch that costs $175. He already has $32 saved from his allowance, and he wants to charge $12 an hour. Write an equation, so I know I'm going to have an equal sign, to find how many hours he would need to work to have exactly $175. That word exactly also lets me know it's an equal sign. All right. So let's look. He has $32 he's already saved. Good. Plus he's going to add to that $12 an hour. His goal is $175. So there's my equation. So let's talk about my variable here is H. And that H stands for hours. Okay, this is what was on last week's homework. So now we want to work it out, figure out how many hours does he have to work. So I'm going to subtract 32 from both sides. Divide both sides by 12. And 2. Nope, not quite. Let's use a calculator for that. So when I divide, I get 11.916666, so 11.92. So he's going to need to work over almost 12 hours in order to pay for this watch. All right, so let's look. Next one, which kids in class were making fun of this one. Nathan is wanting to buy fried chicken and mac and cheese for a party. Brookshire Brothers charges $2 per pound of chicken plus $18 for a large thing of mac and cheese. Kroger's charges $4 per pound of chicken plus $12 for a large thing of mac and cheese, the same size as Brookshire's. How many pounds of chicken would Nathan need to buy for it to cost more at Brookshire Brothers? Write an inequality. So it tells me that's not going to be an equal sign. Alright, so we have Brookshire Brothers. I'm going to put Brookshire Brothers on this side. And I'm going to put Kroger's on this side. So Brookshire Brothers was $2 per pound. Plus $18 for a thing of mac and cheese. While Kroger's was $4 per pound plus $12 for a thing of mac and cheese. We want to know how many pounds of chicken would Nathan need to buy for it to cost more at Brookshire Brothers. So I want Brookshire Brothers to have the more. So now we're going to come down here and we're going to solve it. My variable here, X, stands for pounds of chicken. Pounds of chicken. Okay, so we have 2x plus 18 is greater than 4x plus 12. Okay, I've got two variables. I've got a variable on the left, a variable on the right. They're the same variable, so I can move them. Subtract 12 from both sides. Leaves me with 2x and 6. Divide both sides by 2. And I ran out of room because I write too big. And I get that it'll be x is less than 3. Okay? So as long as you buy 2 or 1, Brookshire Brothers is going to be more expensive. If you buy 1 pound, it's going to cost $20 at Brookshire's. If you buy 1 pound over here, it's going to cost $16. So Brookshire Brothers does not become more expensive until later. I'm sorry. Brookshire Brothers does not become cheaper until later. Sorry, I knew I said that backwards. Alright, let's look at some more word problems. Sorry, flipped over to the algebra pages. Alright. Zeke took his clothes into a dry cleaner. The cleaners charged $2 per garment and a flat fee of $3. Zeke only has $21 to spend to get his clothing dry cleaned. Write an inequality, so that lets me know it's not an equal sign, to find how many garments Zeke can afford to get dry cleaned. So it's $2 per garment plus $3 just for bringing it in. He's got $21. Okay, is it okay if he spends $21? Sure, he can spend all his money on dry cleaning. But this is how much he spends. Can I spend more than $21? No. He only has $21, so he needs to spend either less or equal to. So in this case, my variable X stands for number of garments. Draw up my line. Subtract 3 from both sides. Divide by 2. I did not multiply or divide by a negative, so it stays the same. So Zeke can get 9 garments, or 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But he cannot get 10 garments. Alright, let's move on to Christina's problem. Alright, Christina and her sister went shopping for their vacation. She has a $20 gift card that she used. Christina bought a pair of pants for $30 and some shirts. Each shirt cost $15 each. Christina spent $70 of her own money. Write an equation, so it lets me know it's going to have an equal sign, showing how many shirts Christina bought. All right, so she spent $70. Okay. So let's go over here to the other side. So she spent $30 on some pants, plus $15 per shirt. But she had a $20 gift card, so I'm going to also subtract $20. Okay, $30 for the pants, $15 for each shirt, minus the $20 to give me how much money she spent of her own money. So my variable here is number of shirts. How many shirts did Christina buy? So I can combine here. So I'm going to do 30 minus 20, so I have 15x. And 30 minus 20 is a positive 10. Subtract 10 from both sides. Divide both sides by 15. And Christina can afford 4 shirts. Now if I want to go back in that problem and try it out, I can. 4 times 15 is 60, plus 30 is 90, minus 20 is 70. So it did work out. Alright, last word problem. Natalie and her friends are going to play paintball for her birthday. Her birthday cake she wants costs $55, and it costs $23 per person to play paintball. Natalie's parents have said she can spend up to $200 on her cake and on paintball. Write an inequality, so I'm going to use greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to find how many friends Natalie can invite. Alright, so she's already going to spend $55 on her cake, plus $23 per person to play paintball. And she has $200. She can spend up to $200. Can she spend $200? Sure. Can she spend more than $200? No, and this is my spending, so I want it to be less than. My variable is number of friends that she's going to bring paintballing. So let's solve. So I have a plus 55 or a positive 55, so I'm going to subtract 55. This leaves me with 23x and 145. Divide both sides by 23. I'm going to cheat and use a calculator. Alright, I got that x is greater than or equal to about 6.3. Alright, so she can't have 0.3 of a friend, so she can invite 6 friends, 5 friends, 4 friends, 3 friends, 2 friends, or 1 friend, and still be able to afford it. Alright, so look for words like inequality, or if it says can spend at most, or at least this much, or those are all inequality words, but if it says can only spend this money, or spends exactly $40, then that's going to be an equal sign. So pay attention to if it says equation or inequality. Be sure you can tell me what the variables stand for, and that you can tell me the steps to solving for variables. If you have any questions, send them my way. Good luck.